Be me, 28 years old, been dating my boyfriend for about 2 years now, total. His name is Nathan. He is 30. Works as software engineer at tech company. We met through mutual friends at a party and hit it off immediately. Relationship has been good. Overall, we get along well most of the time. I have always been passionate about social justice and feminism and equality for all. Believe in helping people grow and become better versions of themselves, always trying. Nathan is a good guy, but I notice things he could improve about himself. Think, as his girlfriend, it is my job to help him see these things. Whenever I notice something he does wrong, I point it out to him. Like when he interrupts me during conversation, I tell him that is mansplaining behavior. Or when he does not do dishes immediately, I mention emotional labor women carry. He usually just nods and says, "Okay, I will work on that, babe." I feel like I am helping him become more aware of his privilege and biases. A lot of men go through life never examining their behavior or thinking critically about better that I tell him now so he can grow as a person, right? Think he appreciates the feedback even if he does not always say it. One morning, Nathan is getting ready for work and picks out his clothes. Notice he is wearing a shirt that says "Ladies' Man" on it, from college. Tell him that shirt is problematic because it objectifies women and reduces them. He looks at the shirt and says it is just an old shirt from college. Nothing. Tell him intention does not matter. Impact matters, and that shirt has bad impact. He sighs and changes into a different shirt without saying anything to me. Feel good that he listened to my feedback and made better choice immediately. Think this is what a healthy relationship looks like. Correcting each other lovingly. Later that week, we are at dinner with his friends from work here. One of them makes a joke that I find problematic about gender roles. I call it out at the table and explain why that joke reinforces stereotypes. Nathan looks uncomfortable but does not say anything to me about it. On the drive home, he is quiet, and I ask what is wrong. He says he wishes I had not called out his friend at dinner. Like, tell him I was just educating him. Why is that a problem for you? He says it made things awkward, and his friend felt attacked by me. Tell him sometimes people need to feel uncomfortable to grow and learn better. If his friend felt attacked, maybe he should examine why that joke bothered you. Nathan goes quiet again and just focuses on driving home from the restaurant. Notice he's been going quiet a lot lately when I give feedback. Next week, I am working from home, and Nathan comes home from office early. Ask him how his day was, and he says it was fine, just tired. Notice he left his coffee mug on the counter instead of putting in the sink. Mention that I am not his maid, and he needs to clean up after. He picks up the mug and puts it in the dishwasher without saying a word. Ask him why he is being so quiet lately. Is something bothering you here? He says, "No, everything is fine, just have a lot on my mind." Tell him he can talk to me about anything. I'm here to listen. Few days later, we are watching a show together on the couch at night. One of the characters does something, and I pause it to point out issue. Explain how that scene reinforces toxic masculinity and is harmful messaging for viewers. Nathan just nods and says, "Can we just watch the show?" Please, babe, tell him we cannot just consume media without thinking critically about it first. He says he knows, but sometimes he just wants to relax and not analyze. Tell him that is privilege talking, being able to just turn off and relax. He does not respond, just stares at the TV screen silently, waiting to play. Notice over the next few weeks, Nathan has become more and more withdrawn. He does not talk as much during dinner or share about his day anymore. When I ask what is wrong, he says nothing. Just tired from work lately. Feel like he is pulling away from me, but do not understand why. One Sunday morning, I am making breakfast and notice he did not take trash. Mention that I asked him to take the trash out last night before bed. He says he forgot and will do it right now after breakfast. Done. Tell him forgetting is just another way of saying it was not priority. He stops eating and looks at me with expression I cannot read clearly. Ask him what is wrong. Why are you looking at me like that? He says he needs to talk to me about something important right now. Feel nervous, but tell him, of course, we can talk about anything together. He gets up and goes to his laptop on the desk in living room, comes back with his laptop and sits down across from me at table. Opens up a spreadsheet document that has dates and times and notes listed. Ask him what this is, and he says, "This is every criticism you made." Feel confused and ask him what he means. Every criticism I made, when he says, "Every criticism you have made to me in the last month, tracked." Scrolls through the spreadsheet, and there are so many entries on it listed. Feel my stomach drop, seeing all the dates and times and what I said. He starts reading them out loud from the spreadsheet he made for this. Monday morning, you criticized the way I loaded the dishwasher. Wrong way here. Monday afternoon, you criticized me for interrupting you during your work call, even though Monday evening, you criticized my word choice when talking about my coworker at work. He keeps scrolling and reading more and more entries from the spreadsheet document. Tuesday morning, you criticized me for not recycling the cardboard box I had there. Tuesday afternoon, you criticized my posture and said I need to sit up straighter. Tuesday evening, you criticized me for watching sports instead of reading a book tonight. Tell him to stop reading. I get the point of what he is. He says, "No, I do not think you do get the point, actually." Scrolls to the bottom and shows me the total count for the week. 47 times you criticize me in 1 week. That is almost 7 per day. Feel defensive and tell him I was not criticizing, I was giving feedback. He says feedback is when someone asks for it. Criticism is when they do not. I never ask for feedback on how I load dishwasher or sit or watch. You just give it constantly without me asking for it at all. Ever. Tell him I am trying to help him grow and become a better person. He says I do not need to grow. I am fine the way I am. I feel like I am walking on eggshells, constantly waiting for next criticism. Cannot do anything without you pointing out how I could do it better. Tell him that is not true. I do not criticize everything you do. He scrolls back up and shows me just from this week alone here 47 separate instances of you telling me I am doing something wrong or problematic. That is not helping me grow. That is just making me feel like failure. Feel tears starting to form because I did not realize it was this bad. Tell him I did not mean to make him feel bad. I was helping. He says helping would be supporting me, not constantly correcting me all the time. I feel like nothing I do is ever good enough for you anymore. Ask him why he made a spreadsheet instead of just talking to me about. He says, I tried talking to you multiple times over the last few months. Every time I said something, you told me I was being defensive or fragile. So I started tracking it to show you how often it happens every day. Look at the spreadsheet again and feel sick seeing all the entries there. Ask him if he really thinks I criticize him this much all the time. He says yes, and it has gotten worse over the last 6 months significantly. Used to be occasional. Now it is constant every single day without fail. Tell him maybe some of these were valid criticisms that needed to be said. He points to one entry and reads it out loud from the list made. You criticize me for the way I folded the towels after doing laundry wrong. Ask him if there really is a wrong way to fold towels honestly here. He says that is exactly the point. There is not a wrong way. But you made me feel like there was because your way is better. Every single thing I do, you have a comment about how I could improve. I am exhausted from being constantly corrected by you all the time. Feel defensive and tell him I am just trying to make him more aware. Aware of what? He asks me, looking frustrated and tired of this all already. Aware of his privilege and biases and the impact his actions have on. He cuts me off and says, I am aware. I do not need constant reminders. Tell him clearly He does need reminders if he keeps doing problematic things. He closes the laptop and puts his head in his hands, looking defeated now. Says, "This is exactly what I'm talking about, right here, happening now. I cannot even express how I feel without you telling me I am wrong." Ask him what he wants from me then, if not feedback to help. He says, "I want a girlfriend who accepts me, not one who constantly critiques. I want to be able to exist without being analyzed and corrected all day. I want to feel like you actually like me instead of just tolerating me." Tell him I do like him. That is why I want him to improve. He says, "But I do not want to improve in the ways you want me. I am happy with who I am. I do not need to be fixed constantly. You are treating me like a project, not like a partner in relationship." Feel hurt hearing him say that to me, because I thought I was helping. Tell him I was just trying to help him be the best version of himself. He says, "The best version of myself, according to who? According to you only. What if I think I am already good enough the way I am now?" Tell him no one is ever done growing. We should always be improving ourselves. He says yes, but improving should come from within, not from constant external pressure. I feel like I am being molded into what you want, not supported for who, and I am tired of it. I cannot do this anymore with you. Ask him what he means. He cannot do this anymore. Exactly. What does that he says he needs space from me to think about our relationship going forward? Says he loves me, but he cannot be with someone who makes him feel like he is not good enough every single day of his life, constantly. Start crying and tell him I did not mean to make him feel that. He says intention does not matter. Impact matters. Those are your words, not mine. The impact of your constant criticism is that I feel worthless around you now. I have started to hate myself because nothing I do is ever right. Feel absolutely shattered hearing him say he has started to hate himself because never meant from my feedback to make him feel that way at all. Ever. Thought I was helping him see his blind spots and grow as a person. Realize now I was just tearing him down constantly without even seeing it. Ask him if we can work through this together. Please do not leave. He says he needs time alone to think about whether he can continue. Cannot be in relationship where he feels constantly judged and criticized every day. Needs to figure out if this is something we can fix or not. Tell him I will stop criticizing. I promise I will be better about it. He says I have heard that before, and it never changes for long. You always go back to pointing out everything I do wrong within days. This spreadsheet is just from 1 week. Imagine a whole year of this. Look at the spreadsheet again and feel sick at myself for doing this. 47 times in 1 week. That is almost one criticism every few hours calculated. No wonder he has been withdrawn and quiet lately around me all the time. I have been making him miserable without even realizing what I was doing. He stands up and says he is going to stay at his friend. Asks me not to contact him for a few days while he thinks clearly. Packs a bag while I sit at the table crying, looking at spreadsheet. Walks out the door, and I am left alone with the evidence of damage. Spend the next few days reading through the entire spreadsheet over and over. See patterns I did not notice before, like how I criticized him most during every meal, every activity, every conversation, had at least one criticism in it somewhere. Realize I have been exhausting to be around, and do not blame him. Call my friend and tell her what happened with Nathan in the spreadsheet. She asked to see it, and I send her a screenshot of part. She says, "This is really bad. You criticized him for folding towels wrong." Seriously, tell her I was just trying to help him improve himself. That is all she says. Helping is when someone asks for it. This is just controlling behavior. You were micromanaging every aspect of his life disguised as feminist education there. Tell her I was teaching him about his privilege and problematic behaviors he had. She says, "Maybe, but you cannot teach someone 47 lessons in 1 week. She asks if I would want someone constantly correcting everything I did. I'll think about it and realize, no. I would feel awful and inadequate constantly. That is exactly how I made Nathan feel every single day for months. I feel terrible about myself and what I have done to him in relationship. Week passes and Nathan finally agrees to meet me for coffee to talk. I apologize and tell him I had no idea I was doing it that much. He says that is the problem. You did not even realize you were doing. It became so normal for you to criticize that you did not notice anymore. Tell him I will change. I will stop criticizing and just support him instead. He says he does not know if he can trust that after everything happened. Every time he does something now, he will wonder if I am judging him. The damage has been done, and he does not know if we can recover. Ask him what I can do to fix this. Please tell me anything. He says honestly, he does not know if it can be fixed at all. I made him feel inadequate and worthless for months without stopping to think. That is not something that just goes away because I say I will change. We sit in silence for a while, both of us crying at the table. Finally, he says he thinks we need to break up for good, permanently. Says he cannot be in a relationship where he feels constantly criticized and judged. He needs to be with someone who accepts him as he is now completely. Feel my heart breaking as he says this to me across the table. Tell him I love him, and I am so sorry for everything I did. He says he loves me too. But love is not enough when you make someone feel like they are never good enough no matter what. We hug goodbye, and I watch him walk away from the coffee shop. Sit there alone, thinking about how I destroyed a good relationship by myself. Thought I was helping him grow, but I was really just controlling him constantly. My version of feminism became a weapon I used to tear him down. Months later, I am still single and think about Nathan all the time. Wonder if he is happier now without me constantly criticizing everything he does. Realize I need to work on myself before getting into another relationship again. Need to learn difference between helping someone grow and just controlling them. Talked to therapist about what happened, and she asked me why I felt need to constantly correct Nathan instead of accepting him as he was. Tell her I thought I was making him a better person, more aware. And she says, but better according to whose standards, yours or his own? Choice. Realize I was imposing my standards on him without asking if he wanted. I assumed he needed to change and grow in ways I deemed important. Never stopped to ask if he was happy with himself the way he was. My constant criticism came from a place of thinking I knew better than him. Therapist asks if I would want partner who criticized me 47 times weekly. Say no. I would leave that relationship immediately. It would be awful. She says, exactly. So why did you think it was okay to do? Tell her I did not think of it as criticism. I thought helping. She says, helping is collaborative. Criticism is one-sided, like what you did. You never asked Nathan what he wanted. Help with you just decided for, that is not partnership. That is control disguised as care and concern. Clearly sit with that realization and feel ashamed of how I treated him. Year later, and I heard through friends that Nathan is dating someone new. Apparently, she is very supportive and accepting of him exactly as he is. I feel jealous, but also happy for him that he found someone better, someone who does not make him feel like he needs to be fixed. Think about the spreadsheet he made and how shocked I was seeing it. 47. Criticisms in 1 week seemed impossible until I saw the proof listed. Never realized how constant and relentless I was being to him every day. My feminism became excuse to control and micromanage everything he did wrong. Realize now that real feminism is about equality and respect for all people, not about constantly correcting your partner until they hate themselves completely. Here, I thought I was helping Nathan grow, but I was destroying his self-worth. My intentions were good, but the impact was devastating to him and us. Sometimes thinking you are helping someone is really just controlling them completely. Sometimes feminism becomes excuse to criticize instead of actually supporting your partner there. Sometimes keeping spreadsheet is only way to show someone what they refuse to see. And sometimes you are shattered when boyfriend shows you criticized him 47 times weekly.